Hi, my name is Ikai Kapelotu, and this is part 5 of my senior project. So today we're going to talk about the events and announcements views. So starting with the events views, so this one is a bit different from the other two views I showed last video. And so what happens is I have these cards here that will show individual events. And on the home page, that's the events are right here, events and activities on the carousel. And so that's being pulled from this view. And here we can go ahead and add events. And we have an expiration date. So once it reaches its expiration date, it won't show anymore. And we can delete that. Now, the way this is working, I demonstrated it in one of the past videos. I think it was part 3. But as it stands right now, we have the files being stored as a byte array in the database. This isn't best practices, but we're doing this because we haven't been able to set up our file management system on our web host. And we can do this because the files that we're storing are all under a megabyte, but it does lead to some performance issues later on, which I'll demonstrate. But I'll show it working. So here's a picture I have, and I can go ahead and add the event. And so there's this new event now. If I go to the home page, you should be able to see. Yep, there's the new event created. And the one thing you should know is byte arrays aren't parsable by HTML, so I have to convert the byte array to a base64 image and then append that data type to it, and then I can add it to the string. So if I go ahead and open up this image, we can see there's this string. It says, data.image/jpeg base64, and then the string. So all that string is sent from the backend on a request based on the ID. I get a HTTP request, and then we can edit this and call it test2. That works, and then we can even delete it. Well, first we can open up the database. These are the events in the database. We can execute. We see it again. This is the byte array being stored here with the other image or information. But once we delete it, it sends that request to the backend, and if we refresh this, see the event's gone. That's pretty much for the events and activities. Now the announcements. So in the home page, we have this kind of announcements panel up here, and this was added since my project has begun. The client wanted to have this be there, and he also wants this to be able to be edited and updated and deleted. And so I guess this is kind of like extra credit for my project, but I was able to create a new model, add the routes. Here I can show it. So here is the new model I created for it. There's a lot of layers to it, and they're not all used by the API as it is now. But in the future, when we want to use more of it, we can add that. Here are the routes for it in the controller, and then if we open it up here, and these are the elements used to create each announcement. And similar to the link box and link category, we have the edit, delete functionalities for this. That has been the last of my web tools, and pretty much most of the work I'll be doing on this project. A cool thing I want to show is, so this element is is being generated. These this carousel is also being generated, and all of these links are being generated. And so I can open up the database or the backend, close it. I'm going to refresh this, and we see these are the elements that are being changed. It's been really fun to kind of add that dynamic generation to this. I can go ahead and start this up again. Go ahead and refresh. Oh, one more time. There we go. And now we see everything is being generated again. That's been part 5 of my project. The next video is going to be a presentation talking about how I have achieved my goals and what I've kind of learned from this whole presentation. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.